Welcome to the Reality Revolution. This is the Effortless Money Flow Activation. The intention of this activation is to bring money effortlessly into your life, and that is about taking on the consciousness of effortless flow itself. What if everything you've been taught about achieving success is backwards? What if the very thing you've been doing to create abundance is actually pushing it away from you? Today we're going to shatter one of the most destructive myths ever programmed into human consciousness. The myth that you have to struggle to succeed. By the end of this activation, you will embody that consciousness of effortless flow, and money, opportunities, and miracles will begin moving towards you like iron filings to a magnet. There's an ancient story about a Taoist master who lived by a great river. Every day merchants would struggle to cross, fighting the current, exhausting themselves, many drowning in the process. But this master, he would simply step onto the water and glide across, as if walking on solid ground. When asked his secret, he said, "I do not fight the river, I become the river. The water supports me because I support the water." The ancients understood something we've forgotten in our achievement-obsessed world. They knew that the universe doesn't respond to force, it responds to flow. And today, you're about to remember what your soul has always known. There's a reason that story has survived thousands of years. It points to something the ancient Buddhists called Wu Wei, effortless action. Not inaction, but action that is so perfectly aligned with the natural order that it requires no struggle, no resistance, no grinding against the grain of reality. Picture this. You're watching a master martial artist. They're not sweating, straining, or forcing. Every movement flows like water. Yet they're incredibly powerful. That's Wu Wei. That's the consciousness we're activating today. Now here's what nobody tells you about flow consciousness. There are actually 3 distinct levels, and most people get stuck at level 1 their entire lives. Some reach level 2 and think they've mastered it, but level 3 is where abundance becomes inevitable, where resistance dissolves completely, where you stop chasing money and money starts chasing you. The ancient masters knew that they're trying to force abundance is like trying to catch your own shadow. The harder you chase it, the harder it runs away. But when you turn toward the light, when you become the light, the shadow naturally follows. As you're listening to my voice right now, I want you to notice something. Notice how you've been swimming upstream your entire life. Notice how tired you are from pushing, striving, grinding, hustling your way towards success. You've been programmed to believe that struggle equals worth, that if money comes easily, it's not legitimate, that you have to earn your abundance through pain, through sacrifice, through proving yourself worthy to some invisible judge in the sky. But here's what actually is happening. Every time you push, you create resistance. Every time you force, you activate the equal and opposite force that pushes back. It's not your fault. You inherited this programming from a world that forgot how energy actually works. Think about a speedboat fighting against massive waves. The captain guns the engine, bounces violently, burns massive amounts of fuel, and barely makes progress. Now imagine a surfer on those same waves, no engine, no fuel, just perfect alignment with forces that are infinitely more powerful than they are, and they glide effortlessly across the water at incredible speed. The difference isn't strength. The difference isn't skill. The difference is understanding how energy wants to move and allowing yourself to be carried by it rather than fighting against it. I learned this the hard way. For years, I believed that my worth was measured by how hard I worked. I would stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning, sacrifice my relationships, push my body to the breaking point, all in the name of success. And you know what I got? Burnout, frustration, and a bank account that reflected exactly how much resistance I was creating. Then something shifted. I stopped asking, how can I make this happen? And started asking, how can I allow this to happen? Everything changed. Level 1 is mechanical flow. This is where most productivity advice lives. It's about optimizing your systems, finding your rhythm, going with the flow of your schedule and circumstances. It's better than pure resistance, but you're still using effort. You're still pushing, just more efficiently. Think of it like a well-oiled machine. It runs smoothly, but it still requires fuel, maintenance, and constant input to keep going. Most successful people operate at level 1. They're effective, but they're still working against natural forces rather than with them. Level 2 is emotional flow. This is where you align with your passion, your excitement, your joy. You've discovered that money flows toward enthusiasm and away from desperation. You're following your bliss, as Joseph Campbell said, and finding the doors open more easily. This feels incredible compared to level 1. You wake up excited about your work. Opportunities seem to appear more frequently. People are drawn to your energy, but here's what most people don't realize. You're still operating from the paradigm of doing rather than being. You're still the one creating the flow rather than recognizing that you are the flow. We'll return to why this distinction is absolutely crucial in just a moment. Because level 3 is where everything you thought you knew about manifestation gets turned upside down. Level 3 is quantum flow. This is where you stop trying to get into flow and realize that you are flow. You're not someone who experiences abundance. You are the consciousness through which abundance expresses itself. At this level, you don't attract money. Money is attracted to the frequency of your being. This is where miracles become mundane, where the impossible becomes inevitable, where you stop wondering, how is this going to work? Because you know that the universe is infinitely more creative than your limited mind could ever imagine. At level 3, resistance doesn't exist because there's nothing to resist. You're not separate from what you desire. You're the field in which desire and fulfillment dance together as one movement. Now I want you to imagine yourself as a leaf floating on a vast river. But this isn't just any river. This is the river of pure abundance, flowing from the source of all creation directly toward your highest good. As you rest on the surface of this river, feel how completely supported you are. The water doesn't struggle to hold you up. It doesn't strain or effort. Your support is built in to the very nature of what water is. And your abundance is built into the very nature of what you are. Notice how the river knows exactly where it's going. It doesn't consult maps or GPS systems. It doesn't second guess itself or worry about obstacles. It simply flows, and in flowing, it carves canyons, nourishes forests, and creates the conditions for life itself to flourish. As you're floating effortlessly downstream, you begin to realize something profound. You're not just being carried by the river. At some point, you can't tell where the river ends and you begin. You're not just separate from the flow. You are the flow. Feel your consciousness expanding now. Feel yourself becoming the entire river system. You're the mountain springs where abundance originates. You're the tributaries where opportunities merge. You're the delta where abundance flows out into the world, blessing everything it touches. This is your natural state. This is what you have always been. underneath all the programming, all the struggle, all the resistance. You are abundance in motion. You are the effortless flow of prosperity itself. And as you embody this knowing, notice how your body relaxes. Notice how your breathing becomes deeper, more natural. Notice how the right knots of worry in your stomach begin to dissolve. This is what it feels like when you stop pushing against reality and start allowing reality to support you. Now I want you to step into the version of yourself who has already mastered this completely. See yourself 6 months from now, moving through the world with this unshakable knowing that abundance is your birthright. Watch how effortlessly opportunities flow to you. Notice how people respond to your energy. See how money moves towards you, not because you're chasing it, but because you're aligned with the same forces that make rivers flow in planets' orbit. Now we're going to activate something that's been dormant in most people since childhood. You're going to remember what it feels like to be in such a perfect alignment that miracles become your normal experience. As you're listening to my voice, I want you to recall a time when something amazing happened in your life completely unexpectedly. Maybe it was meeting the right person at exactly the right moment. Maybe it was a door opening just when you thought all doors were closed. Maybe it was money appearing from a source you never could have predicted. Now here's what I want you to notice about that experience. You weren't forcing it to happen. You weren't hustling or grinding or pushing. You were simply being yourself, living your life, and abundance found you. That's what level 3 consciousness looks like in action. The reason most people can't recreate these experiences consistently is because they try to make them happen instead of allowing them to happen. They analyze the miracle instead of embodying the consciousness that created it. Right now, as you're listening to these words, you can feel that same openness, that same receptivity that was present during your miracle moment. It's not something you have to create, it's something you have to stop blocking. Feel yourself dropping into that space now. It's like sinking into the most comfortable chair after a long day, except that this chair is made of pure possibility. Every cell in your body is relaxing into the knowing that you are completely supported by forces far greater than your individual will. This is your natural state before the world told you that you had to earn love, deserve abundance, and prove your worth. You knew this feeling intimately. You're not learning something new. You're remembering something ancient. Now, there's a specific frequency that prosperity vibrates at. Most people are completely out of tune with it. They're broadcasting the frequency of lack, struggle, and limitation, then wondering why abundance doesn't respond to their calls. But here's what the masters knew. You don't have to learn this frequency. You are this frequency. You just have to stop broadcasting the interference patterns that block it. As you continue listening to my voice, notice how your breathing naturally begins to slow down. Notice how your shoulders release tension you didn't even know you were carrying. This isn't relaxation, this is attunement. This is your nervous system remembering its natural prosperity frequency. The frequency of abundance feels like deep trust. It feels like knowing that you're exactly where you need to be, even when external circumstances might suggest otherwise. It feels like being held by invisible hands that are infinitely more capable than your own. When you're attuned to this frequency, money doesn't feel like something outside of you that you have to chase. It feels like energy that flows through the same field of consciousness that you are. You don't attract abundance. You recognize that you and abundance are expressions of the same fundamental reality. Feel this frequency calibrating in your body right now. It's like tuning a radio until the static disappears and the signal comes through crystal clear. Every cell in your body is adjusting to this new station. This prosperity bandwidth that's been available to you all along. This frequency doesn't fluctuate based on your bank account balance or your current circumstance. It is a constant broadcast from the field of infinite potential. And once you're tuned in, you stay tuned in, regardless of temporary appearances. From this frequency, you don't worry about how abundance will come, because you know it's already on the way. You don't stress about timing, because you trust perfect timing. You trust divine timing. You don't doubt your worthiness, because you know worthiness isn't something you earn. It's something you are. Money is not separate from you. It is energy expressing itself through the same consciousness that you are. When you understand this, your entire relationship with money transforms from pursuit to reception, from chasing to allowing, from earning to embodying. Feel yourself becoming a magnet for money right now. Not through desperation or need, but through the natural magnetism of your aligned state. Money flows towards consciousness that doesn't grasp, toward energy that doesn't contract with fear, toward beings who know their worth without having to prove it. As you embody effortless flow, notice how money begins moving differently in your life. Instead of having to hunt down every opportunity, opportunities begin seeking you out. Instead of having to convince people of your value becomes self-evident through your presence alone. This is what it means to be in effortless money flow. Clients appear without aggressive marketing. Investments grow without anxious monitoring. Unexpected income streams open without your having to figure out every step. You become a gravitational field for prosperity. The money that's meant for you knows how to find you. Your job isn't to micromanage its arrival. Your job is to maintain the frequency that calls it home. And the frequency is simply your natural state when you're not interfering with it through worry, doubt, or the need to control outcomes. Feel this truth settling in to every cell of your body. Money wants to come to you. It wants to flow through you. It wants to be part of your experience of abundance, because abundance is what you are. Now we're going to go deeper than most people ever experience. We're going to activate your direct connection to the quantum field, the infinite ocean of pure potential from which all abundance emerges. Science is finally catching up to what mystics have known for millennia. At the most fundamental level, everything is energy. Everything is connected, and consciousness plays a direct role in shaping reality. You're not just observing the quantum field, you're participating in it. You're co-creating with it every moment. As you rest in this knowing, feel yourself expanding beyond the boundaries of your physical body. Feel your consciousness merging with the infinite field of possibilities that surrounds you always. This isn't imagination, this is recognition. You're recognizing your true nature as unlimited awareness temporarily focused through a human form. From this expanded state, you can see the patterns of energy that create abundance. You can see how your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are constantly broadcasting signals into the field, and how the field responds by organizing circumstances, opportunities, and encounters that match your broadcast. But here's the secret most people miss. You don't have to micromanage this process. You don't have to visualize every detail or control every outcome. You simply have to align with the fundamental frequency of abundance and trust the field's infinite intelligence to orchestrate the perfect expression of your prosperity. Right now, feel yourself becoming a clear channel for abundance to flow through. Feel any blocks, any resistance, any old pattern of struggle dissolving like salt in warm water. You're not forcing this dissolution. You're simply allowing your natural clarity to emerge. The quantum field is responding to your new level of alignment right now. Possibilities that were invisible to you yesterday are becoming visible today. Pathways that were blocked are opening. People who can help you are being drawn into your experience. Money that's been waiting for the right frequency to match is beginning to move in your direction. This isn't magic. This is how reality actually works when you stop interfering with its natural intelligence. Right now in this moment, you're going to step completely out of your old timeline. The timeline where money was hard to come by, where abundance required struggle, where prosperity was something you had to chase rather than receive. Feel yourself literally stepping sideways into a parallel reality, where effortless flow has always been your natural state. In this timeline, you've never known scarcity as anything more than a temporary illusion. In this timeline, abundance flows to you as naturally as rain falls from the sky. That reality where you live in effortless abundance is calling to you right now. As you settle into this new timeline, notice how different everything feels. Notice how your past struggles with money flow now feel like ancient history, like stories that happened to someone else. Notice how your future stretches ahead of you, filled with unprecedented prosperity and ease. In this timeline, every decision you've ever made has led you to this moment of perfect alignment. Every challenge you faced was actually guiding you toward this consciousness of effortless flow. Every setback was actually a setup for this breakthrough. Feel your cellular memory updating to match this new timeline, activated by the power of my voice, the frequency of this music, and the pattern of ideas flowing through you. Feel your nervous system recalibrating to this frequency of ease. It feels so good. Feel your energy expanding to accommodate levels of abundance that your old timeline simply could not imagine. This is your new normal. This is your new baseline. This is the timeline you now call home. Now we're going to lock this new consciousness into your physical body, your emotional field, and your mental patterns so that it becomes your automatic way of being in the world. Feel the energy of effortless flow moving through every cell of your body. Your DNA is remembering its original programming for abundance. Your nervous system is rewiring itself for ease instead of struggle. Your heart is opening to receive love, money, and opportunities in quantities that your old self would have considered impossible. This embodiment is not temporary, it's permanent. You're not just visiting this state of consciousness, you're moving in. You're not just experiencing abundance, you're becoming abundance itself. Notice how your relationship to time has shifted. In your old timeline, you were always racing against time, trying to make things happen before some imaginary deadline. In this new timeline, you're moving with time, dancing with divine timing, trusting that everything unfolds in perfect sequence. Notice how your relationship to other people has shifted. In your old timeline, you saw others as competition for limited resources. In this new timeline, you see others as allies in abundance, knowing that their success enhances your flow of success rather than threatening it. Notice how your relationship to money itself has shifted. Money is no longer something outside of you that you have to capture. Money is energy expressing itself through the same infinite field that you are. You don't have money. You are money expressing itself as human consciousness. The embodiment extends into every area of your life, your health, your relationships, your creativity, your purpose, everything begins flowing with the same effortless ease that now characterizes your relationship with abundance. Now we're going to use the power of spoken truth to lock in this new consciousness. But these ordinary affirmations, these are flow state declarations that bypass your analytical mind and speak directly to the intelligence that orchestrates your reality. Traditional affirmations often create resistance because they're trying to convince your conscious mind of something it does not believe. But when you're in the flow state we've activated, affirmations become bridges between your current experience and your natural state of abundance. And as I speak these truths, don't just listen with your mind. Let them resonate through your entire being. Feel them landing in the spaces between your thoughts, in the pause between your heartbeats, in the field of pure awareness that you are. These aren't statements you're trying to make true. They're recognitions of what's already true. They're not affirmations of what you want. They're acknowledgments of what you are. Let each one settle into your consciousness like seeds of remembrance, growing into the full expression of your abundant nature. I am the river, not the rock. Abundance flows through me as naturally as breath flows through my lungs. Money comes to me effortlessly because I no longer block its natural movement toward me. I attract prosperity through my being, not my doing. I am a magnet for miracles. The universe supports my highest good with the same unwavering force that makes flowers bloom and stars shine. I release the need to struggle. I release the need to prove. I release the need to force. Effort dissolves as I align with my highest timeline. I am exactly where I need to be, receiving exactly what I need to receive. I trust the flow. I am the flow. The flow is me. Resistance is impossible because there's nothing to resist. I am one with all that I desire. My abundance blesses everyone around me. My success lifts others up. My prosperity creates prosperity. I am worthy of effortless abundance, not because of what I do, but because of what I am. The same intelligence that grows my hair and beats my heart is orchestrating my financial abundance right now. I allow. I receive. I flow. I prosper. Every breath I take is a breath of gratitude for the abundance that flows to me always. I am abundance. I am flow. I am prosperity in motion. As you continue through your day, your week, your life, you're going to notice something interesting happening. Every time you catch yourself forcing, pushing, or struggling, you will remember this very moment right now. You'll remember the feeling of floating downstream, and you will naturally release back into the flow. When you wake up tomorrow morning, there will be a subtle but unmistakable shift in your energy. You'll notice opportunities that were always there but somehow invisible before you'll find yourself saying yes to things that align with your flow and naturally declining things that don't. Over the next 48 hours, pay attention to how abundance shows up differently in your life. It might be a conversation that leads to an unexpected opportunity. It might be money that comes from a source you didn't expect. It might simply be a feeling of deep knowing that everything is working out perfectly. The consciousness you've activated today doesn't turn off when this video ends. It's now a part of your operating system. You have remembered who you really are underneath all the programming, and that remembering changes everything. If this activation has shifted something in you, let me know in the comments below. Share your flow wins. your synchronicities, your moments of effortless abundance. Your success stories don't just inspire others, they reinforce the neural pathways of prosperity in your own consciousness. I just want you to remember, you are not someone who has to force. You're someone who allows. You are the effortless flow of abundance itself. Float well, and I will see you in the next activation. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. Please subscribe to my channel, put a like on this video. It's the only thing that really enhances the algorithm and gets people to watch this video. Please check out my art when you get a chance. You can find it at www.newearth.art. If you're looking for coaching, you can email me at chiefexecutiveprime@gmail.com with coaching in the subject line, and I can get back to you about coaching you into a shift into your optimal timeline. Go out into your day and may the flow be with you. And welcome to the Reality Revolution.